let's journey back to when the biggest comedy actor on the planet tackled Dr Seuss. I said tackled, not destroyed. Hey people, my name's Jim and you have landed on Planet Rewind. I hope you had a lovely Christmas, and just as we're coming out of the festive season, I thought I'd look at one more Christmas movie. It is, of course, How the Grinch Stole Christmas from the year 2000, starring none other than Jim Carrey. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, I still remember going to see this in the cinema. I distinctly remember it, and it's always left an impact on me. I've been watching this film at Christmas ever since I was young, really. It really is a highlight of the Christmas season for me. It honestly does warm my heart whenever I watch it. I know this movie has kind of a polarised reception. Some people hate it, some people love it. I think it's kind of a Marmite film. I think you either love it or hate it. I think a lot of people talk about this film and they see it through a cynical lens. They see it as too commercial. They see it as stripping away the original Dr Seuss vibe and essence. And to be fair, I was introduced to the Grinch story from this film, and then I saw the cartoon. So I've always been a bit biased towards this. But if I look at it, you know, down the line, straight down the line, you know, with a non-kind of biased look, it is a good Christmas movie, I think. It's heartwarming, its heart's in the right place. There are problems, there are issues, and I'm not going to pretend there isn't, but for me, the towering performance of Jim Carrey, I love the direction in this, I love the sets and the design of everything, and I think its heart is in the right place when it needs to be. I think you could cut out a lot of the lines in this. You know, when you watch this as an adult, a lot of the lines that went over your head, you're like, even Jim Carrey's gone on to say this, he says that he would cut out a lot of the more adult jokes. There's no need for them. It's really weird. Like, when you watch this today, you're like enjoying it, and then you just like, oh, I didn't notice that when I was a kid. That's a bit messed up. That shouldn't be in a Grinch movie. Why would they even put that in? The adults are not even going to find that funny. It's just, they're cringy when they're used.
Hey, honey! Our baby's here! He looks just like your boss.
Yeah, cut that out, mate. Come on. So much sexual kind of tension between the Grinch and his love interest in the film. It's a bit too sexual for my liking in a kids movie. I don't know why they did it. Maybe to appease the adults are going to be going to see it for Jim Carrey, but you don't need to. You can have Jim Carrey in his essence and that can please the adults too. There was no need for this. But I think we can all agree, at least it's not the Cat in the Hat.
Who is this? Oh.
That's my mom.
Awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, if you look up the word cringe in the dictionary, there's now just says Cat in the Hat movie. Jim Carrey's amazing performance is one of the, well, is, in my opinion, it is the best part of the film. It's a phenomenal performance. This is when Jim Carrey ruled the world, of course, but the way that he captures the Grinch, the way that he just physically inhabits this character, the constant decisions he's making on screen to just be larger than life in this character, to be believable. While I see Jim Carrey, I feel like he really does inhabit the Grinch. Lots of people have said this film, oh, it's just Jim Carrey. I don't agree. I feel like he was debuting a lot of physicalities, a lot of gestures, a lot of movements that he hadn't done in his most Mad Cat roles, you know, The Mask, Ace Ventura. You weren't seeing that with the Grinch. He did bring a unique take on it while still having a few trademark Jim Carrey gags.
Alphabetically. Aardvarkian, Abacanesia who? I hate you! Aaron B. Benson who? I hate you. Hate, 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 hate. Double hate. Loathe entirely.
And of course, the makeup and the outfit was fabulous, you know. It really was, you know. We need to look back at this more fondly as a real triumph for practical effects and for makeup work. You know, Jim Carrey said, famously, that having this makeup being put on every day was like being buried alive every day because it took hours and hours and hours. Yeah, come on, Jim. It's not like being buried alive, mate. 1, you could breathe. 2, you didn't die. 3, it's just bloody makeup.
Bleeding hearts of the world unite!
I've never understood the actors who moan about long makeup and they view it as torture. Could use some better words, a better choice of words, but in a nice gesture, Ron Howard actually went through the makeup for one day. So he had the makeup done to show solidarity with Jim Carrey, and then he directed that day as the Grinch. So you had two Grinches on set, one as the director and one, of course, Jim Carrey. One of my friends, when he talks about this film, his assessment is, it's a very hilarious assessment, I don't like what Ron Howard did. That's I remember those vivid words. That's what he said about this film. Whereas I do like what Ron Howard did. Lots of people say this movie looks set bound, it looks too small, it looks too fake. But I feel like it's supposed to be a tiny town. This is set inside a bloody snowflake. Like, this is just a tiny contained fairy tale town. So for me, it doesn't really matter that it looks kind of set bound, because that's kind of the point. It's supposed to be really small and really contained. It's not supposed to be really larger than life. It's supposed to be such a small little story. I really like Ron Howard's direction. It's everything about the film screams Christmas. The snow, the colours, the Who makeup, the Christmas trees everywhere, the Christmas clothes. Very much like Home Alone in a way, where there's constant red, yellows, greens, white, you know, to get that desired Christmas effect. And I liked it, you know. I much prefer it to the CGI fests we will see these days, you know. Hopefully people will start looking back at this more fondly now that everything is CGI. I didn't mind the CGI Grinch, the new one, but for me it doesn't hold a candle to this one. In look, in style, just hope that people can find more appreciation for the look of this, for the effort that clearly went into creating a really authentic Whoville. Of course, everyone remembers Cindy Lou Who in the film, played by Taylor Momsen. She was adorable. She was very much like Mara Wilson at you know, when she was young, where, you know, she wasn't annoying. Like, she was just endearing and adorable, and I really like her performance in this. But I feel like she's the heart of this movie, that little sweet belief in good and belief in accepting everyone. Sometimes a child's naivete is what we need at Christmas. We need to go back to that child inside, and she's great in this. There's also great scenes in this. I love the sentimental scenes of the young Grinch, where you find out how he became the Grinch and how he fled up the mountain. That's really heartbreaking to this day, guys. Whoville were bloody arseholes to the Grinch. They deserve everything they bloody get. You know, it's really sad. When he's climbing up the mountain and saying that he hates Christmas, it's like, Jesus Christ, this kid is climbing up a mountain, about to spend his whole life in isolation, and the Whoville do not give a shit. It's not that weird that we've got this Grinch character who is green when we look like beyond anything that's ever existed too. I love when the Grinch, you know, when he goes about stealing the presents, this and that. Great comedy scenes involving Jim Carrey, very creative, very well done. You get a reenactment of the Grinch song from the 60s version. And we get that wonderful feeling inside when Jim Carrey's Grinch realises the true meaning of Christmas, and he lets go of his resentment, lets go of his hate, lets go of his anger, and he becomes a warm-hearted Grinch. You know, it's very much up there with the Christmas Carol when Scrooge turns, but I think Jim Carrey really nails it in this. Jim Carrey really pulls at your heartstrings when the Grinch starts to feel again. I always feel it's just charming whenever I watch it.
Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a star. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
And if those scenes didn't work, then the film wouldn't work, because it's very much a film full of madcap Jim Carrey energy, crazy stuff. The heart has to work, and I feel like it does. I feel like it comes from a genuine place. Jim Carrey manages to shift the performance to a more feeling performance, to a warm performance, and he manages to make you relate and like the Grinch when we just sat there laughing at him for 2 hours. It's really important that he strikes that balance. I absolutely love this movie, guys. I really, really do. You know, well, it's not for everyone, it's not, but I think it's the best Dr Seuss adaptation. Not saying a lot, but it's one of my favourite Christmas movies. You know, there's things I'd change about it. There's certain over-the-top performances, but I like the kind of over the top, crazy, cartoonish vibe. I just feel like now and again it just goes too far with the adult humour. Now and again, some of the Who characters are quite obnoxious, but Taylor Momsen is adorable. She sees the movie through with her heart. I like the actors who play her parents. I like the actress who plays the Grinch's love interest. She's quite likeable, despite being overly sexualised. And I like Jim Carrey in the film. And I love the voiceover by Anthony Hopkins. Watch out for that. That's wonderful. Always a great voice for this sort of thing. He sounds lovely. He sounds like a sweet old man reading you a story, and it gets you into that nice kind of sweet-natured Christmas vibe. I hope you guys had an amazing Christmas, the best that you could have had. I am heading towards 500 subscribers. Will I get it by the end of December? Let's do it, guys. Send my videos to your friends. Tell them to subscribe to me. If you're a new viewer, subscribe. Let's get to 500 subscribers by the end of December. And I'm probably going to do a stream before the end of the year too. So if anyone's up for that. But we'll see. We'll see where this channel goes. I'm still trying to think what I'm going to do next year on the channel. But anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think of how the Grinch Stole Christmas and how your Christmas went, what you were watching and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys soon.